I'm here in the Dominican Republic at the second largest house in the entire country. This thing behind me is over 40,000 square feet. And I'm actually staying here at a real estate mastermind, which I'll tell you about later. But I want to give you guys a quick tour of what's going on in this house. So this property's name is called Villa Toscano, and it's located here in Punta Cana, specifically right next to Eden Rock Resort. It's got a beautiful golf course that I've spent the last 2 days golfing at. And it's probably the most beautiful golf course I've ever seen. And as you can see right here at this entrance, this is all natural. Like these are real trees that have a huge opening right here at the top. It rains a lot here in the Dominican, and I've seen like literally the inside of this being rained on inside of the house while I've been here. So it's pretty cool to see. But just the way this house is set up is pretty insane. This entire first level is essentially all for entertaining. There are no bedrooms down here. Everything is meant for people hanging out and parties essentially. While the top floor is for all the living. I think there's 9 bedrooms in here. They're all up there for everybody to just go stay. And then the bottom floor is all for staff. That's where you have all the laundry, all of the staff is staying there. It's pretty cool. In fact, while we're staying here, there are probably 4 or 5 people on staff who've been accommodating us at the house. And that's the pretty cool thing about the Dominican is most of these houses you buy are, you can go get a butler, you can go get a chef, you can go get these people for like $10, $20 a day. It's just so cheap out here. And I'll tell you about some of the other cheap things too with the real estate that I learned just kind of hanging out and go touring houses across the beach. But I wanted to walk straight directly through and show you the outside and where we're exactly at. It's a little bit dirty because last night there was a little bit of an after party, but check this out. Like all you see in this house is just a beautiful golf course, the ocean, right there's the Eden Rock Resort. It's probably like one of the best views I've ever seen in my life. And like I played that hole, it was absolutely stunning. The golf course was literally the best golf course I've ever seen in my life. Just everything about it. Like the golf course was on the entire beach. All the houses on the beach were absolutely amazing. And the best part is in the Dominican, things are way cheaper than they are in the States. Going back to just this house in particular, this pool is absolutely incredible. You've got the infinity edge, you've got all that. This hot tub over here is actually like a dual hot tub. So that's the main hot tub. It overflows into this bottom level, which is still the same temperature. And then you've got this very long patio right here, or deck. And you got a bunch of chairs. I remember sitting at those chairs over there in the morning, just kind of doing my morning routine, reading a book. It was really cool. And on this side, you've got all of the grass, the nature. There have been some random dogs that I've just seen in the house. Like, I don't know if they're stray dogs or where they came from, but a bunch of dogs and cats just run around in the Dominican. But you've got another kind of formal outdoor table over there, which one thing I'll tell you about this house is like, there's an endless supply of tables. You got a table over there, tables over there. I'll show you the dining room here in a sec, but this house just has like everything you could ever imagine. Now, as we come back in here, you can see like this is I would call it the formal living room. I personally haven't seen anyone really hang out in this living room, but it looks cool. It's not anything to say. This right here, once again, I don't really know the purpose of this. I've never seen anyone sit on it, but it looks cool. I guess when you have 40,000 square feet, there's gonna be stuff that doesn't really make sense. So over here, we've got the movie theater. Now I have seen people in here. This movie theater is really cool. You got 3 different tiers, and a bunch of people were playing pool last night. So I think this room definitely makes sense. It's a lot of fun. I think it's cool. So now let's talk about these dining areas. Over here, you've got the dining room, which, if one table wasn't good enough, you need to have the same exact table next to it. Like, we all know that. You can't have a dining room with just one table. That's what peasants do, okay? If you don't wanna be a peasant, you need to get two of the same dining table. And if that wasn't enough, then you need a kitchen table, like, what do they call these, like breakfast nooks? That's what you need over here too, because two of the same table isn't good enough. Now, in this house, especially when you get 3 levels, you always wanna have an elevator. This elevator is cool, but it is literally the smallest elevator I've ever seen. Like, my camera guy's gonna come in here with me, dude. We are pretty tucked in here. Let's go to the main level, right? Or not the main level. Let's go to the living spaces, just so I can give people a peek of that. But yeah, we're pretty tight in here. It's cool because now we're on the 2nd floor, which is where the living is. They actually have 2 staircases. One's right here, one's directly across, and they go up to a 3rd level up top, which is technically the 4th level because there's one that's subterranean. But up there is just like a little nook with a couple of bedrooms. So, you know, up here, you've got bedrooms there, the extra staircase, you know, bedrooms are up top. All of those are a little smaller bedrooms for the house, but these 3 are the main bedrooms. So you've got the master, you've got 2 kind of guest masters, they're pretty big. I'll show you guys my room. I don't wanna go, I don't know what they got going on in there, but I am staying in one of the guest masters. You got a couple of dressers, which I didn't use, but they're a nice touch. You go around and you have the living room. And by the way, sorry for the messiness, because this video was kind of impromptu. I was like, wait a minute, I should probably film a YouTube at this house. It's pretty crazy. I'll probably never be here again. So I didn't expect to do this. So you've got this room. Cool thing is, if you open up these curtains in both, you know, on this side, you just get like a lot of sunlight. On this side, you get some of the golf course view, a little bit of the pool. So it's pretty cool. And the bathroom is really big. So, you know, it's got a full shower, full bath, full like big closet. You know, you guys know I gotta have my gel and all my stuff. It's the only way I can survive. But yeah, the living spaces are really cool that, you know, this house has. Let's head back down so I can show you some other cool stuff about this house. While we're walking though, I wanna give a huge shout out to InvestorLift. InvestorLift is the company that is renting out this house for this entire mastermind, and they are an amazing company that I've partnered with. If you are in real estate flipping or wholesaling, they're literally the best place to market your deals. They've got 3.6 million buyers on their platform. They get 3,000 deals posted a month on their platform. I know that there are a ton of people who are selling deals now for twice as much as they used to. I think the average stat for them is a wholesaler who has a deal, they're usually making under 20K as an average assignment. And once they get on InvestorLift, they're making over $35,000 on each assignment. So if you have the right buyers for your deals, things can drastically change for your profit margins just by making one little switch. You don't even have to get more deals, just find a better buyer. So we have a special thing with InvestorLift. If you are interested, go to investorlift.com/Ryan. I will link to it down in the description below. They're actually gonna give you 10% off, as well as 5,000 buyers that you can use right now. So if you're a flipper, you're a wholesaler, or even if you're a realtor, having access to those cash buyers that will buy your deals at the highest prices is super important. So go check out InvestorLift. Now, one thing that the staff was just telling me while I was filming this was about all of this rock. It's called corallina, which I don't know if that stands for coral in English now that I'm kind of putting it together, but it comes from the sea, they said, so I'm gonna roll with that. Let me know in the comments if I'm right. But pretty much this entire house is built out of this stuff. You can see all these bricks. They had to custom make them from the ocean. They have these pillars, like you can just see this stuff that's in here. It's all over the house. Like you can see the bricks are over there, the pillars are there. You saw the pillars in the backyard. There's even more in the front yard. It's like absolutely crazy how much money they've spent in this house like doing it. So I wanna show you guys the kitchen real quick because I think it's interesting, and then we'll talk about these prices here in the Dominican. So, well, actually, we got this guy, Blake here. What's up, dude?
Hey, morning, buddy. How you doing?
Blake actually, last night in the hot tub, I posted on Instagram. You're not in Vegas. Where are you out of? Nashville?
Right? Yeah, I'm in Nashville right now.
Nashville. He goes, dude, I got a deal in Vegas. Are you interested in it? He shows me on his phone. I'm like, yeah, I would buy that. So staying in Villa Toscano has already got me another rental property. So
off of InvestorLift.
Off of InvestorLift.
We run InvestorLift, and I probably could have found Ryan's team on InvestorLift,
but when you find me in the hot tub, you don't.
Found him in the hot tub.
You can just go direct to the source. So
works.
appreciate it, dude. Anyways, so we have this kitchen now, right? And you would look at this kitchen and you'd be like, dude, this kitchen's not very good for a house of this caliber. Why is it so small? And it's kind of different when you're dealing with these estates versus a normal home. Like a kitchen is the focal piece on a normal home. But in an estate, like people don't hang out in the kitchen, right? This is like where the staff is making food. They got another kitchen downstairs that they can make food in and all this stuff. Like it's just a different type of mindset. You know, you probably have, if you have a 40,000 square foot home, you have a chef, you have somebody bringing you food where you're gonna go sit out on the beach. Like you're not really hanging out in the kitchen. So I thought it was interesting that it was kind of just built this way. That it's hidden and it's not the focal piece. This house is absolutely incredible, but in the Dominican, it's pretty crazy how cheap stuff is. It's very difficult to say what this house is worth, but I actually rode around with a realtor yesterday looking at properties all on the beach and the golf course just for fun. And honestly, like I'm kind of thinking about buying a house in the Dominican, whether it's for myself, whether it's for an Airbnb, or if it's for one of my new Tyke shares for my NFT community that we're starting. I'm buying sick real estate all over the country for my NFT holders to stay at. It's gonna be pretty epic. So you're gonna learn about that. You can go to tykes.io. But yeah, the prices are pretty crazy. The realtor told me that this house is probably worth around 20 million. And I mean, this is like the best house in the Dominican. So if this is the best house at 20 million, you know, and it's 40,000 square feet, what are all these other houses selling for that are on the beach and everything else? Well, they said you could go get a house right there on the golf course next to the beach for 2 to 3 million. You know, it's 10,000 plus square feet. It's, you know, crazy like how much you can get like in the best area too. If you go to a worser area, maybe that's not as safe or doesn't have the golf course, I mean, you could totally be on the beach for less than $1 million. Like it's crazy. But for me, if I want to buy here and have the security and the safeness and all that stuff and go get one of those houses on the beach, I could easily get one for $4 million. And like, it's the most baller crib ever. It's a crib that would cost you $30, $40 million in California. And like this water and everything about it is way better than California. So yeah, I think foreign real estate, especially in places like the Dominican, are great. But the other thing he told me was that the cost to build here is so cheap because most of these construction workers are making like $3 a day. So in Las Vegas, we're looking at building houses in luxury anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a square foot, just depending on how crazy you want it, right? Like I'm building my own personal house and we're trying to be around $400 to $500 a foot because we're trying to be nice, but like value driven. You know, if you try to build a track home, you could probably do it for, you know, $200 to $300 a foot, right, in the States. And it varies anywhere you're at, right? So don't take that set in stone. But in the Dominican, these guys are building super luxury homes like this for no more than $200 a square foot because the labor is so cheap and the materials are just like so abundant. It's just crazy how cheap you could do it. So one of the things is you might want to buy land here, which they have a ton of. There's so much land because the land is still a good deal and the cost to build is very low. So you also get a 15-year tax credit here in the Dominican, he was telling me. If you build in the right spot, you don't have to pay property taxes for 15 years. So that was a pretty cool stat as well. But, you know, overall, the reason I asked him, why are all these houses like monsters? You know, they're building everything 10 to 20,000 square feet. He's like, just because the cost to build's so cheap, like why not? And I said, that makes sense. And this is how you end up with a 40,000 square foot home. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna buy a house here one day. I think I will. It's like super beautiful. I don't know if I'll build or if I'll, buy a resale, but building is not gonna be that expensive. He was like basically telling me, if you buy the right lot, just like Villa Toscano, you could be all into it for whatever, $7 million, and it's worth 15 plus depending on where it's located. So it's like, even as a flipper, it could make sense to do stuff like this. So Dominican is great. This house is absolutely incredible. Like I said, shout out to InvestorLift for putting me up in this house and holding this epic event and renting this out. Absolutely incredible. Make sure you go check out our link there if you're a flipper or a wholesaler. And thanks for watching this video. Peace.